I ran on free markets. I don't know that those are right or left. I ran on rule of law, property rights. I ran on immigration. I don't think those are right and left issues. I think those are just free market constitutional issues.
We are back with a Fox News alert. Eric Cantor may be #2 in the House, but now he's on his way out, beaten by Tea Party-backed candidate Dave Brat, you just saw right there, in last night's Virginia 7 primary.
So are those the principles that just mentioned the reason this political unknown was able to create the biggest political upset in decades? Here with us to react.
That's right. Is the GOP consultant and Fox News contributor, Ed Rollins.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. So, historic upset here.
Historic, unpredicted. All the smart people in Washington around the country didn't see it coming, and I don't think Eric Cantor saw it coming.
Did Cantor lose it, or did Pratt win it?
I think Pratt won it. I think Cantor basically ran a terrible campaign. They outspent him 20-1, all on the defense, attacking the opponent, raising his name ID. And then the immigration issue, which Cantor kind of flirted back and forth with, basically mobilized a whole different group. Gigantic turnout. Probably a third more voters than turned out 2 years ago. So.
Speaking of turnout, there's been some suggestion that some Democrats had said, you know, it's an open primary, why don't you go and screw things up? Why didn't Democrats vote there?
There aren't that many Democrats in that district. It's a strong Republican district. Both McCain and Romney carried it with better than 55% of the vote. It's central Richmond. It's a very solid Republican district.
If you're addressing the Republican caucus right now, what's the message that they should take from this election result?
Get back home and pay attention to your constituents. Listen to them. Don't spend time in Washington. Get yourself back home and take nothing for granted.
But what are they saying? What are they saying that needs to be listened to?
Well, I think they basically have got to say that, and part of what Cantor's problem is he kind of tried to redefine the Republican Party. He tried to use language, tried to use a whole variety of things. He's a very decent guy. He was well liked by his colleagues. He was kind of the bridge between the Tea Party and the establishment, but the establishment doesn't basically sell very well back home.
With all the news that we've seen with the updates and photos, what's going on at the border with the flooding of undocumented individuals coming in, how much of a factor did that play into the
I think
victory?
it did. I think there's been a lot of Republicans very unhappy with Boehner's comments recently about immigration. Immigration is dead in the House, and the House Republicans don't want to move it.
As a result of this?
Oh, definitely as a result. Everything is dead, I think, as far as this. I think budget reform, tax reform, and certainly immigration is dead at this point in time.
Do you think that the grassroots with steam, that they see that the GOP leadership, that's their last chance to stop the Obama agenda, and they don't feel like Washington's really doing anything for them?
Well, this started, I think, Cantor was one of the leaders when they shut the government down. He was the first one to capitulate, and they held him responsible for that. Many of the Tea Party and the grassroots wanted to continue that fight. They thought they had Obama on the defensive, and obviously Boehner and others didn't think that. So he got blamed for a lot of that.
And Boehner came out right after and said, you got to be kidding me, that famous line, how could you shut down the government, and then on Ted Cruz's idea. So this is a pushback on that? I mean, is the Tea Party clearly not dead? It's
a very important part of the Republican Party. I've said on this show and other shows for a year, we can't function as the establishment party. We need Tea Party. They're the energy. They're the people that basically get out and vote as they did yesterday. We need them if we're going to be viable.
Should he step aside now, Eric Cantor?
I think it's important he step aside. He's the major fundraiser next to the Speaker, and no one's going to contribute to someone that they see as lame duck.
Who should step up?
Well, McCarthy, California Republican, is the whip. He's the normal guy to move up. But my sense is you're going to begin the Speaker's successor race, and whoever becomes the majority leader ends up probably replacing Boehner. So I think you're going to have a fight right now, and we'll see what happens.
These are interesting political times.
Great. My pleasure.
All right, Ed Rollins,
thank you.
Thank you.